Step one, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning into your edge and financial freedom. Today, I've got the headline that I teased yesterday about the venture capital and their investments into crypto in 2025. I had seen the article and someone was interested in it, so I decided to start the New Year's out with the venture capital headline. I hope all of you had a great New Year's and had a bunch of fun, spent it with your family, and got to enjoy bringing in the New Year's together. But let's dive on in and get you prepped for some success today. We do have the stock market closed today, so it will be just the crypto market that we mainly focus on today. I will go over the stock heat map though, because it's nice to see where things closed out yesterday. We do have Apple sitting down 0.71%. Nvidia is down 2.33. Berkshire Hathaway is sitting down 0.25%. We've got Eli Lilly down 0.25%. ExxonMobil is up nicely. It is sitting up at 1.71 off of some crude oil information that we had got. We've got Tesla sitting down 3.25. Amazon sitting up down 0.86%, and we've got Microsoft sitting down at 0.78, Google's down at 1.01, and Meta sitting down 0.97. For the crypto side of things, we do have Bitcoin sitting down at 0.19% right now. XRP is sitting up 2.31. We've got Ethereum sitting up 0.05. BNB is sitting up 0.76. We've got Solana up 0.98. Cardano sitting up pretty nicely right now, up 1.1%. We've got Dogecoin sitting kind of neutral, up 0.06%. Tron is sitting down just a smidge, down 0.31%. We've got Avalanche down 0.56%. Toncoin is sitting down a 1.3. We've got Chainlink sitting kind of neutral right now, down 0.04%. We've got Sweet making a little bit of gains off of the new year, up 0.5%, and that kind of wraps out the top 10. Like XRP, we do have Stellar Lumens sitting up nicely, up 8.65% right now. So let's hop over to the economic calendar real quick. We do have some light data coming out for the morning from the UK. We've got their nationwide housing prices month over month and year over year. It's not a big market mover, but it is the data that we have for the morning, so it might have a little bit more of an impact on some of the crypto prices. We do have a manufacturing PMI coming out of Germany as well this morning, and for the European Union as well. Other than that, it is a light data day. Nothing really coming out until the initial jobless claims, which of course will get a bit of a revision later, like we saw on the last initial jobless claims that came out the other week. Oh, I do see Dante Cabrero in here as well as Kyle Fields. Good morning, good morning. I hope you guys are having a great New Year so far. Other than that, we're not getting any really heavy data for the day. It is all going to be for tomorrow. We have ISM Manufacturing PMI coming out at 10 Eastern Time tomorrow. So let's hop over to our fear and greed and our liquidation heat map. The stock market still sitting in fear, 28. Just a small tick to the upside off of some of the price movement we saw yesterday, which is kind of interesting considering that they went a little more red yesterday. For the crypto side of things, we are up 2 points as well. 2 points and 66 and greed. It has been a nice cooling off on our fear and greed as we've been moving in more of a sideways range. We did get that pump up to the upside yesterday to grab some liquidity before we drop back below the golden pocket, which we've been struggling to maintain for a little while now. So we'll dive on into that one when we get over to that Bitcoin chart. For the liquidations, the hotspots are all to the top side of us. You do have a light hotspot that was sitting right at the lows from yesterday at that 92,000, about 700. And the top side liquidity is all sitting at 96,654, going all the way up to $96,820. If you zoom it on out to those higher term time frames, you can kind of see that most of the liquidity has been swept on both sides of things. We do have a light hotspot sitting here at 96,387. You do have a few light hotspots to the bottom sitting at 91,439 and another one down here at 90,900. If you zoom it on out just a little bit more, you can kind of see that most of the hotspots are going to be to the top side. You do have that bottom side liquidity that could potentially get swept. We'll just have to take a look at that on the Bitcoin chart here in a second. The bottom side is sitting at 91,456 and a little bit of a hotspot below that sitting at that 90,600 mark. To the top side, all of that liquidity is sitting at that $100,000 mark. So definitely something to keep in mind as we take a look at that Bitcoin chart. I do see conspiracy crypto in here. What's up? Happy fake New Year. Happy New Year to you. I don't know if you're sitting in like all the way at the edge, so you haven't got some of the new time zone switch on things, but you could be super late in the day, or maybe you're already into a new day. You're sitting in Europe or somewhere like that, and you've already had your New Year's, and it's been the first for a while. So let's zoom it on out on that Bitcoin chart. Take a look at that 4 hour. We are sitting right below the golden pocket, like I was talking about. We did get that push to the upside yesterday that I had talked about us probably seeing, as we saw a little bit of potential for a move to the upside to grab some liquidity for the morning before dragging back down. That's exactly where we got, and we dropped back below the golden pocket, which I said we'd probably need to hold that golden pocket if we really wanted to see that continuation to the upside. This is where we're now sitting on that 4 hour with red liquidity again. The MACD is getting some heavy curvature on things, looking to cross that indicator line on the bottom side again. And as you see, your prime oscillator just ticked back to red after that little move to the upside that we got yesterday, and has been looking down ever since. So definitely going to need that liquidity to come in and rescue things. That 90,700 mark, which we saw on our liquidation heat map, is right around that point where I've been looking for actual bottoming. You do have the platinum pocket, which is right below that as well. Going to be that about $90,000 mark, $91,000 mark. So that's the few bottom side targets that I have for a more hopeful bottom. We do have that 88,750 that I have marked out as the next area that I'd kind of look for a bounce. So we'll kind of have to see where liquidity starts coming back in on things. As you can kind of see, if you zoom it back in, you do still have a bit of red liquidity sitting on the chart. It's just going to light green on this to 1 hour. So it's definitely going to need to start coming in on these higher time frames because there's still a lot of selling pressure, especially considering that monthly candle was a little bit bearish and is definitely not what a lot of people were wanting to see. You had a lot of hopium in the markets for, oh, well, if November is green, then December is green, and this kind of wrecked a few people's plans, and this is exactly what market makers like to do. This is where we're definitely going to have to look for that concrete bottom and that move to the upside. And this is where a few of these targets are going to come into play. I know Piper has talked about the level that he would like to see hold on his show because it looks extremely bearish after that. And I have some of those same targets with a little bit different for my bottoming side. I would like to see that 86,734 hold. That's kind of a little bit higher than one of his. And if we do end up coming below that, there is a lot of pressure down here for the bears to keep things going a little bit lower. So definitely going to want to see some of these bottom ranges hold if we want to have a little bit of a green January anytime soon. So let's zoom it on in just a little bit. Take a look at that 15-minute chart. As you can kind of see here, we are in a bit of a downside trend here. You do have your liquidity, which just went from light green back to red on your shorter term time frame, as well as this MACD getting heavy curvature on the bottom side of things at the same time that your prime oscillator is still green but getting that curvature. So making some lower highs and lower lows here on your shorter term time frame, which definitely leads me to look for those bottom side targets on things. I see Mark Dutch in here as well. Good morning, and Happy New Year to you as well. Hope you're having a great day so far. As I had said, that 90,890 would be where I would look for that that confirmed bottoming on this local area. And you know, there is the potential that if we come down to that price, that we wick down to the platinum pocket on some of the higher term time frames before really trying to make that boost back up to the golden pocket, which is that 94,000, which we rejected very cleanly off of last night at about 8 o'clock my time. So definitely been a point where when we lose it, we are unable to maintain it, and to really maintain that golden pocket at that 94,000 is going to be what I look for to really solidify that we're in that move back to the upside, because that's been that point of contention here for quite a while now. So definitely the point I want to see hold, but in the meantime, looking for those lower prices. I did have a few headlines I would like to hop into. One of those was the biggie on the VCs. So let's hop over to that news article real quick. We've got VC roundup. Crypto funds climb to 13.6 billion in 2024, set to hit 18 billion in 2025. Declining interest rates and increased regulatory clarity are expected to fuel a surge in venture capital investment in crypto startups over the next 12 months. Let's hop into the meat and potatoes of the article, because you know, there's a few key projects that are being talked about by a few venture capital funds. Like Avalon Labs raised $10 million in a series round led by Framework Ventures. A Bitcoin protocol, Avalon Labs, has raised $10 million in a series of funding round led by Framework Ventures, with additional investment from firms including Kinetic Capital and SNZ Capital. The funding will support Avalon's expansion of its Bitcoin-backed DeFi ecosystem, which will include products like Bitcoin-backed lending, stablecoins, and savings accounts. The startup is behind the USDA stablecoin, holding more than 466 million in total value locked. Avalon is said to have more than 20,000 Bitcoin, currently serviced around 200,000 active users. The company plans to use the capital to scale its operations and increase global presence. You also have Unusual secures 10 million from Binance Labs and Kraken Ventures. French startup Usual, a decentralized stablecoin issuer, has raised a 10 million in a Series A funding led by Binance Lab and Kraken Ventures, with additional backing from firms like Coinbase Ventures and Ondo. Usual offers a stablecoin reportedly backed by real-world assets designed to maintain stability while minimizing banking risks, according to DeFi Llama. Its stablecoin Usual USD holds over 1.7 billion in total value locked as of December 31st. The startup operates in a community-driven model where 90% of its native token is distributed to users, enabling profit sharing and governance. The funding will support Usual's expansion as it aims to move into traditional finance. You also have Blockchain Data Protocol Accountable raises 2.3 million in seed funding. Crypto data startup Accountable has raised a 2.3 million in seed funding led by Miton C and Z Prime Capital, with additional support from angel investor Darius Rugas and DC Builder. The platform, which is said to have facilitated 2 million in Bitcoin loans, offers a privacy-focused data solution for borrowers and lenders. It enables users to share real-time, verified data about assets, liabilities, and trading exposure while maintaining control over information sharing. The platform serves institutional clients and seeks to become a go-to solution for both large market makers and retail participants in crypto credit market. Its technology stacks included cryptographic tools and zero-knowledge proofs. Binance Labs DEX Thena. Binance Labs has invested an undisclosed amount in Thena, a decentralized exchange and liquidity protocol on the BNB chain. Launched in January 2023, Thena offers spot and leverage trading up to 60x leverage, utilizing the V33 tokenomics model to manage liquidity and reward participants. The model incentivizes long-term participation by allowing users to lock tokens in exchange for governance rights and rewards. The funds raised will support the development of the protocol, with capital to be deployed on security and user acquisitions. The protocol claims a total value locked of 63 million as of December 31st, with plans to expand into cross-chain operations and other DeFi services. And this is kind of an interesting thing that we'll kind of touch on at Markets After Dark. The venture capitals are looking at these projects with real-world use case that offer actual value to your traditional markets and things like that, where those are the altcoin projects that you've kind of seen pump this past year as well. When you got the last rally that kind of moved things to the upside, you saw things like XRP with a lot of real world use case, things like Near, Injective, and a few other established products like ADA really move alongside Bitcoin. And this is what the venture capitals are looking to invest in. These real world assets, the assets that provide real world use case for their TradFi markets, and looking at kind of established products that already have a foot in the door to provide the services to the crypto users that they are already wanting to use, like DeFi, which is looking to rear its head back up, especially with more investment into some of these vehicles like exchanges and the protocols like in the V33, which is what that Thena exchange uses for their protocols for lending and rewards. And this is something that is kind of interesting to see, especially as we're getting more and more real world use case and adoption. I did have another headline that kind of backs on some of the adoption aspects that we're going to start seeing in 2025, which I said we're heading our way probably about a month, 2 months ago, somewhere back there. Proposal mandating the Swiss National Bank to hold Bitcoin now underway. And this is pretty big news. You know, they manage a lot of money over in Switzerland, and the amount of signatures that they need to put this proposal into the works is very low considering the population that they have. So a proposal to constitutionally mandate the Swiss National Bank to hold Bitcoin on its balance sheet was set in motion by the Swiss Federal Chancellery on December 31st. The proposal must accumulate 100,000 signatures for it to be put to a public referendum, according to Tether's Vice President of Energy and Mining, Jiu Zangna. I don't know if I said that right, but awesome. Who helped launch the proposal was Johannes Benham, founder and chairman of Swiss Bitcoin nonprofit think tank 2B4CH, and 8 other Bitcoin advocates. The think tank 2B4CH has been preparing to submit documents to the Chancellery since at least April to renew attempts at a successful proposal after it postponed its first filing in October 2021, when the idea of a nation state strategically holding Bitcoin was not as common. We were waiting for the right timing. Now everything is falling into place, and this is why we submitted the documents and will start collecting signatures, Benham told Cointelegraph. The Bitcoin proposal for a financially sound, sovereign, and responsible Switzerland was submitted on December 5th and was officially registered in Switzerland's Federal Gazette on December 31st. It specifically proposes Article 99, Paragraph 3 of the Swiss Federal Constitution to be amended to the National Bank builds up a sufficient monetary reserves from its own earnings. Part of these reserves are made up of gold and Bitcoin. Achieving this constitutional amendment has been the primary mission of Benham's 2B4CH. The Bitcoin advocates must now accumulate 100,000 signatures by June 30th of 2026, around 18 months from now. Switzerland boasts a population of 8.92 million, meaning that 1.12% of locals must sign the petition. Bitcoin is already widely adopted in the Italian-speaking city of Lugano, where the Plan Bitcoin conference is hosted each year. About 260 merchants accept Bitcoin in the southern city, populated with 63,000 residents, BTC Maps data shows. However, last month, SNB's chair Martin Schigel reportedly expressed concern over Bitcoin use as payment and the huge amount of energy used to secure the network. Now that's kind of funny of him, as we went through that last cycle where everyone was talking about how expensive it is and this and oh, it wastes energy. But you know, a lot of people aren't worried about the energy costs, especially when they are using something that's a lot more secure, is unable to be taken by these governments, and has proved itself since its founding in 2009 to be one of the strongest reserve assets that you could have held throughout this whole time period, and the gains are incredibly better than any other reserve asset that these governments have liked to hold. If you held Bitcoin from 2009 and held gold from 2009, one of those would have made you extremely wealthy, and one of those would have just done okay. So let's hop into the chat real quick, see what people are saying. We've got Mark Dutch saying thanks to Donato for the Happy New Year's wishes. I see Kyle Field saying we'll see miners move to the polls to save on cooling costs. And that's one thing I've seen that is potentially in the works on a AI plant, was using the ocean and having it float in the ocean and recycling the ocean water to get a lot of its cooling. I think we'll start seeing more innovative ways to cool things at a lower cost as we move forward, especially with Bitcoin as well. I don't think Bitcoin mining is going anywhere. You still have a lot of countries where their dollar's a little bit weaker, like the UAE is able to mine Bitcoin considerably cheaper than America is able to mine Bitcoin. So countries like that are still in the works of mining Bitcoin on smaller operations. And you'll see the bigger players kind of trying to negate some of those energy costs with the cooling and the amount of money that they're having to spend on electricity to make the new Bitcoin. So we'll see new innovative ways to continue mining Bitcoin as it continues to get harder and harder. He said we'll likely see a bottom based on some sort of energy standard. And this is definitely something that has been talked about a few times with the energy costs and the progression of Bitcoin and the progression of other fiat-based currencies and standards that we will be using going forward. Energy, which is kind of what you're sending to someone when you use money, is a transfer of energy. It's no different with Bitcoin. The only difference with Bitcoin is it actually takes physical energy to make the Bitcoin, and it kind of does it in a more physical way than your normal money does. So legislation focused on GDP and limiting miners from moving will make the market volatile, probably. And that's something we're going to have to keep our eyes on as we go in. You do have mining havens such as Texas, and I believe Florida is putting that in the works as well. I know Oklahoma passed one. I believe Tennessee also passed something as well, where these are miner safe havens, and they want those Bitcoin miners to be there. And they want to help move forward on a lot of these crypto policies and are proponents of Bitcoin. You do have places like Wyoming who are looking at their local government level to hold Bitcoin on their balance sheet. And as we go into 2025 with new policy changes on the federal level, we're kind of going to have to wait to see what the top-down initiative is and how it affects us on the more local government level. So Kyle Fields says, hell yeah, Texas, happy to call it home. Well, that looks like you're in the right spot for a bunch of crypto ventures. And I noticed that they're apparently doing a bunch of changes to some of their crypto taxes as well. And they're trying to push a few things in on the federal level, which I had seen something about on potential changes for crypto and the taxes on the federal level that might be going into effect on or pushed into effect on 2025. So it should be a very interesting year. So I am going to cut the show short on the 30-minute mark. I know there's the new year. I stayed up entirely too late. I just wanted to touch on a few key things, touch on that Bitcoin this morning, and bring y'all some of the news that I didn't get to really talk about yesterday, which was a few of these headlines like Bitcoin adoption in other countries, and that VC funding that is going to be heading into crypto 2025, which will help some of these altcoins. We will have a Markets After Dark show with me and Lunar Beaches Crypto tonight, where we'll talk more on a bunch of what you come here to Piper Academy to hear every day. We've got some macro outlooks on what we think 2025 is going to be bringing our way on price action and some of the trends that we'll potentially see in 2025. We'll talk about some of the changes that we've been seeing in this Bitcoin and crypto market bull run, as opposed to other runs that we've already been through or some people haven't been through, so we can kind of bring that comparison to y'all and talk about some of the things that we're hoping to see. We do have a few things that we'll dive into on some ETF news. That was something we discussed a lot before planning the show out. So a lot of news heading your way at Markets After Dark, where I'll be a little more rested because I plan to sleep a little bit today. I got like 3 hours of sleep. So I hope all of you had as great of a new year as I did, and that you tune in to the rest of the shows on the Piper Academy today. We do have Piper and OC Guy with the morning market report. We will have Trade Intuition with the Trade Academy. And if you haven't been showing up to that and you need some help on how to do some of your TA and you need some advice on what you're seeing on the chart, and if the way you're seeing it is the way that it might actually go, he's got some great insight when it comes to looking at those charts. We do have Markets After Dark with TradeFly and FD White every night, Monday through Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And Markets After Dark with Lunar Beaches Crypto at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. So hope to see y'all in the chats at Piper's morning market report. And I'll probably be asleep for Alex's crypto show, so I won't see you in the charts, in the chats there. Happy New Year to every single one of you. I hope you wake up because today's going to be a good day.